Good morning there. It's almost Easter. It is Saturday when I'm filming this, and I've got a little thing that's a little bit different to what I normally do. Poor old Chitosa here is suffering from a little bit of hay fever, so we thought we'd make her a nice little tissue box. Can I have that, please, Chitosa? So we have a little tissue box with some tissues that she could maybe pop on her dressing table or on the side or something like that. So in fact, I'll leave that there for everyone to see, Chitosa, and I'm going to pop you to one side. Okay, and let's move you, in fact, yes, oh, we'll let you have a look. Shall we keep you in there if we can? There you go. You can watch. Right, what I'm gonna need for this, I'm not used to teaching paper crafting, so this is gonna be a bit of a novel one. I know what I'm making, but obviously I've got to try and explain to you guys. Basically, what I've got here, it's an old gift bag that I've just cut into pieces. I've already cut one out, obviously I've made that one, that's why it's got a bit missing. I made a little template here, which the template, each square is 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters. I'm going to try and find a way of maybe popping this on my blog or something, because you could make a smaller one for a smaller doll, and obviously you would bring it down maybe to 3 centimeters or 2 centimeters, but this is 4 by 4, and you can sort of see how I have structured that. Yep. Right, I have a ruler. Nice straight lines are important. I have a glue stick. I have some tissue here. Now this is sort of proper tissue, but if toilet tissue, if you've got any about, that can be good. Just a little bit of decoration and a good old pair of old scissors. Now I've had these scissors here, so they're looking a bit battle worn, really, covered in glue and things like that. So let's get going, and I hope I can show you how to make a little tissue box. So I'm going to pop those all to one side just for a second. We don't need the tissues for the last minute. One thing I must comment on, can you see how I have a lovely circle there? That is because I am very lucky, I'm going to have to move you now, Chitosa, to have one of these guys. Now, I've had this for years. My daughter bought it as a birthday present. Oh God, it's got to be, what, 7, 8 years? Now, I think it was about £50 at the time. I don't think it's much more now. Now, you might think it's a lot of money to invest, but this thing, because we cosplay as well, and because we do make things generally, and I've got fabric things, this is an absolute gem. It has cut EVA foam, it has cut felt, it has cut paper, it has cut card, it has cut fabric. Starting to get a little bit old now. I do need some new dies, really, but this is the little one we're going to use today. Now, it doesn't really matter because you can see where the tissue is. It's sort of covering up the hole, but if you're lucky enough to have one or another circle cutter, it does make a nice shape, but if not, you can sort of hand cut that out. If you draw it on the opposite side so you can't see any of the pen, and then you can cut it out from there. But if you ever think about investing in one of these, oh, it's the best thing I've had. I mean, you can see, bless it. Let me take one of the plates. You can see how much cutting this has done, and this is still the original plate. I've not had a new one since, so it has been really worth its weight in gold. It is a manual one. You can get posh ones that sort of do it automatic and electronic and things like that, but I'm quite happy with my manual one. But the products it's actually cut, and the stuff the dies have cut through, sometimes it's been foam of about this thickness. That's pretty good, I think. Quite impressed. So I'm going to move that to what? Oh, squeaky noise. Move that to one side, and let's have a look. We don't need decorations yet either. So, as I say, this is the template I created. Don't want to lose my die. Pop it up there. And as you can see from my ruler, as I mentioned before, it is 4 centimeters. So make sure you can see it completely, obviously for replication. I'm just going to move my camera slightly so you won't see Chitosa in that as much, but you can see what I'm working on a little bit better. That's better. So I made a template first because I wanted to make sure it was going to fit. Now, as simple as that might sound, sometimes when you come to fold it up, you'll find certain edges don't fit. So, you know, sometimes a bit of trimming is required. But essentially, as long as you measured it right, and you've got those 4 by 4 squares, or smaller if you want to. I think I'm going to make a smaller one for Cindy. I'm going to have a go at doing one at 2 by 2, which would be a bit of fun. And you need these, because these are what you're going to glue and what holds the actual box together. So as I say, this is just an old gift bag, really, because we haven't got anything else in the house. So I thought, well, might as well use up what we've got. Now, again, going back to the pattern, can you see the direction of this pattern? So I don't want to be, well, I suppose I could go that way. It doesn't make a huge difference because the butterflies are a bit all over the place. But I would say that is really the direction I want to work in. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to pop that on there. Now I'm not going to draw around that. In fact, I'm not going to do anything because I've not put my pen out. I'm just grabbing a pen. I've got some behind this. Okay, I've got a pen here. I'm not going to draw around it because sometimes it's quite hard to draw round things and you don't always get that neat cut. So I'm just using that as an example. I know that'll fit on there because I've just tried it. And I know these squares are 4 by 4. Except for the little extra bits they've got on. So first of all, let me double check. I know that fits edge to edge by 4 centimeters. So I'm going to come in the 4 centimeters and I'm going to place a little mark and I'm going to draw. If you want to measure all the way down, please do so. I've got quite a good eye for measurements, so I'm not overly worried with mine. I'm just going to draw a line all the way down. Doesn't need to go that far down because we'll be working in this top area. I just like to overestimate. Perhaps if you're wanting to be a bit sort of more, oh, knocked it, more thrifty with your card, perhaps you should measure it a little bit more. But as I say, this is an old bag that we've used. So that's the width for that one. I now need a 4 for the second one. So I'm going to put my little 4 mark there. Don't worry about that hole, that's where the string was through the bag. I will be going a bit lower than that. So I'm going to make sure I'm happy with that. That looks about all right. I would recommend you do mark as you go because, to be honest, if you're slightly out, you'll be trimming at the end. So that's for the middle section. So I need another 4. At this side. So I'm going to take it all the way down there as well. It's gone a little bit wide at bottom, careful, and across. So I now know I've got side, middle, side. So I now know here, because obviously we've got this little lip here, this has to be slightly longer. That is actually 1 centimetre. So I need a 5 centimetre space just to start with. I need to try and avoid that, so I want to go below that. So I'm going to go there with my 5. But have you noticed these here as well? So be careful with this. So I'm first of all going to mark off my 5. So this is my top one that I'm marking off now. A bit weird working at this angle. You can't actually see them. So I'm going to pop them both in. I'm going to work 1 centimetre down. Approx. The better, like I say, I'm on a slight angle, so I'm struggling to see the thing. I didn't realise, obviously when you're making it yourself, you're right over it. I didn't realise how difficult it would be working at this point. So I'm going to say, this is going to be my lip. So just add a little, cut the corners off, makes it easier to tuck in later. So I will mark that as side. Okay, we're now going to move down. This one's 4 by 4, so there we go. Don't worry about the pen on this side because, to be honest, it's going to be all folded the other way anyway. So that is my bottom. Not my bottom, the bottom of my box. I have another side. So another 4 by 4. Side. And then I have a top. So it's another 4. You see, I've got plenty of paper. I didn't need to go that far, did I? And there's another 4. And I'm just writing on this because it does help when you're actually mapping them out. Now, each side of the bottom, we need a 4 by 4 square plus these little tabs. We also need them for the top bit, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So, first of all, I'm just going to mark straight across because I know they're the width I want already because I put those other lines there. So I can just go straight across. But I know I need a 1 centimetre, a 1 centimetre, a 1 centimetre and a 1 centimetre. So I'm just going to use the ruler, mark off that one and that one. And again, you need to cut off so you've got these little corners. I'm going to turn it round, actually it's easier to use the ruler. I'm turning it round and I'm going to do the same 1 centimetre the other side. I'm hoping that doesn't disorientate you. I'll turn it back after I've done this. Yep. So let's turn back and see what we've got. So we've got you mapped out like that. So we know this is a side and this is a side. The only thing we're actually missing now is these two little tabs here to fold in for the top. Now again, they're 1 centimetre wide, so I can just go 1 centimetre either side with the ruler there. 1 centimetre either side of the ruler there. Cut down. Don't worry if you don't go all the way, because we're going to cut those corners anyway. And go down. So essentially, this is what we now got. So let's cut those corners again, because that's where you're going to be cutting down. I only went wrong way then, wrong direction. At this point, if you did it wrong, it doesn't matter, because it's not affecting the other side, so you don't have to overly worry about it. So what I want to do now is cut around these. When you're cutting, think about where you're cutting first, because it's very easy to go and cut across something that you're not meant to be cutting across. So how I like to do it is I'll cut all the obvious areas out first and remove any spare paper so it's not distracting me. I know I need to cut across that one, get rid of that one, keeps it neat. I know I need to cut down here, so all I'm doing is the obvious sides. I'm not cutting into any of the detail. Right, so now we have to work. This is probably the most difficult bit to cut out, but again, I'm not going to crop these corners yet. We can do that afterwards. So I'm just going to cut in. Now with this one, watch, it does need to go all the way to there and across. Just keep getting rid of your paper to keep it nice and clean and tidy. I'm going to cut up, across, right to that point, and across. I'm trying to make sure it's in there. Oh, that doesn't help, does it? That really does not help. Oh. I am back. I just sent absolutely everything flying, my phone, the lot. It's much easier when you're just crocheting because you're just here. But when you've got a pair of scissors to deal with, I'm knocking. My camera's this side. I'm knocking everything. Right, I'm going to try and splice them together, which I should be able to do. And we're going to carry on cutting this carefully with the scissors. So across, all the way down to the point. There's me trying to be tidy and organised, and I end up knocking everything flying. Just this one. So now you've got all your shapes, but we need to crop these corners off everything so you get these little V shapes here. So because I've cut into the corner, that comes straight off, off, off. Again, they don't have to be perfect because they're going to be tucked in, but they need to be the right size. Careful not to cut in to the main parts as well, because otherwise that's going to spoil it when it turns it in the other way around. Nearly there. Well, we got up to about 12 minutes before I knocked the camera flying, so it'll give you an idea roughly how long it takes. I think the preparation more than anything, getting everything together, can sometimes take longer. Ta-da! Right, I've actually managed to cut it without causing a lot of damage. Right, I'm going to move all the bits. I will keep tidy if it kills me. Right, now to actually fold it, it's better if you've already creased it, because otherwise you risk when you're folding it to get a wonky line or something like that. So this is the right side, of course. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler again. I've actually got a crochet hook here. Not something too sharp, that's all I'm going to say, because you don't want to be cutting through. Hold this tight, hold your ruler tight, and be careful with your fingers when you're doing this. So I've just scored it. So by scoring it, it now folds neatly. Look, it folds much nicer. I'm not going to do them all, fold them all at once. I just wanted to show you that. Now with this one, we know the line is coming from here to here, so I can score from there to there, but it's harder to hold the ruler. So if you want to do it in bits, you can, but it is better if you can do it in one long sweep, just like that. So I'm just going to move it down onto the next one. On to the next one. Right, now I'm now going to turn it because I need to do these here. 1, Sometimes it's easier to have the ruler in a particular direction, but I don't want to keep changing it for yourselves for you to see it. Right, we need one here as well because we didn't go all the way around the bottom one. I think we're there after this one. Basically, when you've done, if you pick it up, you can sort of see where you've scored if you move it about, and you'll soon find out. So let's fold these tabs in first. 1, 2, we've already done that one. Making sure they all fold without, look how easy it is to fold them without any risk of it going lopsided. So last 2, last 1. I'm going to open them all back up, because now I want to make sure all the other parts are folding, because these need to be crisp. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have all our sides now. Mr. Glue Stick time in a second, so I'll pop that there. I am going to be using my die cutter now. This is when, obviously, because we've marked it, we know where it's going, so I know that is my top. So let's move everything over, because I need to bring the, I don't need the roller anymore. Let's bring this squeaky die cutter in. As you can see, well worn, well used. So if I'm using my die cutter, basically, I'm going to pop it in there. This is my die. Cut side down. Hold it there. See, it slides about a bit because I've already folded it. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Nope, it doesn't want to stay there. You will stay there. Sometimes if you've got a little bit of double-sided tape or something, that can help hold its position. And fingers crossed, because basically push it in a bit, and I'm just going to cut through and back, and that has given me a perfect circle. Love, love, love that machine. Right, pop it back over there. You can see my arms there. And we're back to gluing time. So if you want to just have a quick go at sort of imagining how it's going to fit, make sure that the sides do line up, because sometimes they don't. Right, I think we're doing pretty well actually. And then those will tuck in there. Yep, so that's roughly, so you know it's going to fit before you glue it. With the glue stick, because it takes a minute, well, a minute, even a second or two to actually glue, it's not the end of the world if you get it into the wrong place. So we're turning over and you're gluing on all these little tabs on this side, on the right side. So my glue sticks took some hammer as well. Most of this, the glue and things like that in this house are used for cosplay things, so they usually end up getting covered in paint or other glues or something. When it's cosplay costume time, it is messy. So try not to get any glue on your cardboard for your top. If you did, you could always find a bit of a decoration to tidy it up. So I've glue sticked all my sides, best to my knowledge. You'll soon find out if you haven't. So I'm going to take these two sides up first. I'm then going to push this on, but can you see that's gone a bit lopsided, but it doesn't matter because it's a glue stick, we can move it over. I'm just giving it a little squish and a little squish, making sure corner to corner matches. Then I can do the same on this side, so squish it together. Now, so you might need to hold it for a second, and again squish it together. How quickly this is coming together. Because we've measured it out right, it's not a problem. So I need to fold these in because they're going on the inside, and I'm wanting to push it down onto that one. Now obviously that bit's inside, so you do have to sort of get your fingers in a little bit. Just do it nice and carefully, just push gently against to make sure that is going to stick. So essentially that's our little box, but perhaps we needed a little bit of decoration. As you can see on this one, I just popped some little sort of sticky beads on. These are the beads. Beauty of these, they come off in a strip like so, and because they're already pre-glued, look how easy that is. You could do all sorts. You could put a ribbon around it. So look at this one as well. It takes about 1 and a bit strips, this, compared with the other. You could put it around the top. You could put them around the hole at the top, but sort of tissues are sort of in the way, so I didn't see much point to doing that. Look how easy that was. That was so quick. Some paper crafting is brilliant. Right. Tissue. This is just a normal tissue. Paper tissue you can buy in little packets. I know tissue over here now is actually easy enough to get, toilet paper, etc, etc. But I know in some places it's not been quite so easy to get. Oh, I'm sketchy, I can't be bothered to undo it. That'll do. So I'm going to put some in it, just to sort of fill it out a bit. And then the top one, just from the middle, just pushing it in, push it in, and then you get the bit that sticks out at the top, so it looks like you've already pulled a tissue out. So that's basically it. You've got 2 sets of tissues now, Shitosi. Do you want to come back in? Let me bring her back in. Like I say, I have done this for a Smartdoll size. I'll need to re-angle the camera if she's going to be on. There we go. Like I say, I have done this Smartdoll size, I'm saying, but it works for our generation dolls, designer friend dolls, any sort of 18-inch doll. I think this works quite nicely for. And again, this is a 4x4 cube. If you did it a 2x2, you get a little one, which is one I do want to have a play with. So I think that would probably be about a Cindy size, a 2x2. Must get that sorted. I've got such a list at the moment, which is all exciting. I've got lots of ideas and things I want to get done. So just a bit of fun today. A nice little tissue box for any sneezy time. It's now been in 3 parts of my disastrous from knocking the camera off. Then I had to alter a part on that I've just finished. But here it is. Here's the little box. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share if you have enjoyed. Hope you're all staying healthy, staying inside, and hope to see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.